Welcome back for another video. FPL is live and a bunch of new changes for the 26-27 season. Price changes on the official site now after Gameweek 1. They've also added live rank, league and points officially. Some tweaks to bonus points as well. In a nutshell, that's going to benefit keepers, fullbacks and attackers. If you're new around here, my name's Oscar and it's my 16th season playing FPL. My best rank I've reached is first in the world, which was during the 21-22 season. Last three ranks 25k, 3.4k, 49k, all top 0.5%. Make sure you're subscribed as I attempt to one day be rank 1 again and probably never get close. 500,000 FPL managers used the FPL Focal app last season as well, which is absolutely crazy to say. It's free in the App Store. And it does just about everything from live bonus and defensive contributions, live rank, fixture ticker, price changes. You've got market odds, articles written by me. There's loads in there, too much to name. All you have to do is scan the QR code on screen or search FPL Focal in the App Store. This pre-season, you can unlock all of the premium features for only 77p a week, trusted by over 500,000 FPL managers. Take advantage. So let's run through the first draft and let us know if you've spotted any potential gems so far. In goal, one player I've carried over from the end of last season is Lovro, who's priced really fairly at 4.5 mil. I was taking a look at the projected clean sheets tool while I was picking my keeper. Raya is 6 million, which is really expensive for a keeper. Obviously not surprising either, given another golden glove for him. Arsenal are top for projected clean sheets over the first 6 game weeks, and then Man City, then Man United, then Everton, and then Brighton. So Brighton 5th place there, only 4.5 mil for their keeper. Now Van Heck is a big name to have left, so how much will that affect them? In defence, I've gone with Gahi, Xhaka and Mascara back 3. Some players are question marks after the World Cup. If you didn't know, players have to undergo a mandatory 3-week rest period after the World Cup, and the finalists in particular are quite likely to miss Gameweek 1, or at least those that were involved. You know, Raya, for example, didn't play a minute all tournament, he could be fine. I wrote a free article on the app, basically on which players from which teams are most at risk, if you want to read that. Yeah, he could be a slight risk since he'll be back in training at the absolute earliest, 10th August I believe, so it's not that far off Gameweek 1. But 6 mil is a great price really, and as the ticker showed earlier, they're right up there for projected clean sheets. 8 goal involvements from centre back, which is really impressive, and it wasn't too bad for a DEFCON. If you don't know what DEFCON is, that's defensive contributions, and basically players get points for things like tackles, blocks, interceptions, and a defender needs 10 to get plus 2 points in a game, midfielders need 12. I should mention forwards can get DEFCON points as well, but it's quite unlikely or rare that it happens. Mascara comes in at 5.5 mil, which is 2.5 mil cheaper than Gabriel. Gabriel 8 million, which is the second highest a defender's ever been priced in FPL. So absolutely massive saving there. And I think he's good enough to be starting a right centre back. Saliba is sidelined for months, and I think there's a good chance that he comes in until he's back. It's just whether Arsenal sign another right centre back, which is really possible. I've seen them linked with Stones and Konsa. Seems mad to have a yellow flag player from Gameweek 1, but I was doing a bit of digging on Xhaka, who was Liverpool's Konate replacement. Speaking after his move to Anfield became official on July the 1st, he revealed that he's set to be fully fit in time for pre-season, so no concerns there unless he has a setback. 5 mil is a great price as well, especially in comparison to Van Dijk, who's 6.5 mil. Iriola genuinely turned the Vitality Stadium into a fortress when he was at Bournemouth. They were actually second best in the entire league after Arsenal for expected goals conceded in home games. Will he tighten Liverpool up? If he does, and Xhaka is a nailed starter, he'll be unbelievable value for 5 mil. In midfield, I've opted for Mbeumo over Bruno, controversially perhaps, and also controversially I've gone with Palmer as my sort of semi-premium or second premium. So it's Mbeumo, Rodgers, Palmer, Szoboszlai and Anderson. It's Hull away Gameweek 1 for Man United, which is a really good fixture. We'll have to see, but they could be a real team to target, having managed promotion after finishing 6th in the Championship, 22 points behind Coventry at the top. They only managed 13 clean sheets in 46 games, and their XG difference was minus 18.2, so they did really well to have an actual goal difference of plus 4. And Mbeumo 4 million cheaper than Bruno is something to think about. That said, Cunha is also the same price, so who's actually better, Mbeumo or Cunha? They made the same number of appearances with 33. And Bumo's expected goal involvement was significantly better though, 17.2 XGI versus 10.3 XGI. That reminds me, all the data that I use in these videos is from Scout, and I'm happy to announce I will be working with Fantasy Football Scout for another season, and it is my 9th year as a member. And they're running a pre-season promotion right now if you want to take advantage. You get 7 months free on the annual plan. They've got 5 former champions on their team and countless tools in the members area that you can play around with. Go to s.id/FPL Focal to take advantage. QR code on screen. Take advantage of that pre-season offer. There's a link below as well. I think that partly why Man United had a really good season compared to the one before, especially, including the likes of Bruno, was that they had no Europe, while also having a really good squad and manager. I just feel like Chelsea could be this season's equivalent. They've got such a quality team, and it's just got even stronger. Plus Alonso who's a world-class manager. I'll talk more on Chelsea in a second. So Bosley feels like they've priced him 0.5 mil cheaper than I was expecting at 7 mil. He was one of, if not Liverpool's best player last season, and he has so many routes to points, penalties, free kicks, corners, even defensive contributions at times. Like in FPL, you want to identify those players that have got multiple routes to points, because then they've got more routes to points, you're likely to get returns. He could have a bad game, Szoboszlai, in open play, but one of his corners finds Van Dijk, gets the assist, or if he does stay on penalties for Liverpool, then that's even more potential there. Maybe it could be Isak on pens. Maybe it's up in the air at this point. Liverpool fans, let us know who's on pens, Isak or Zobo. I feel that FPL is potentially shifting a little bit away from trying to spike those massive hauls from players and instead kind of identifying a steady, consistent stream of points, which is exactly what Anderson is and other similar DEFCON players. He earned way more defensive contribution points than anyone last season, more regularly than anyone as well. 9 goal moments on top of that. I know he's moved to Man City, who are going to play very differently to Forest, but that potentially won't hinder him at all. Like Rodri, for example, has been exceptional at racking up DEFCONs if you go back a couple of years before injuries disrupted his seasons. So I think Anderson's still a really good option for 6.5 mil. I know a lot of you aren't going to like this, but I've gone triple Chelsea attack. Up top, we've got João Pedro and Haaland. Hear me out for a sec here. So pretty much every season, I tend to start really slowly. Like last season, I was something like 5 mil after 5 weeks before eventually clawing it back, and I got a really good finish in the end. Like we're playing FPL to win the whole thing, aren't we? And I just think when I go with these really balanced, boring teams, and you start slow, you just don't make up the ground. And that's the type of differential that could go big, or obviously it could go bad, triple Chelsea attack. Chelsea have got no Europe, as I've said. They've got a stronger squad. They've got a world-class manager in Xabi Alonso. João Pedro had a fantastic season as well. Like absolutely criminal for him not to have gotten called up for Brazil. Now, I will concede that Rodgers and Palmer had more mixed seasons, especially Palmer. Rodgers can be a really streaky player. Like he can score world-class goals from way out and then, not score for the next 10 games. But he is surrounded by better players, so he could thrive. Wirtz playing as a 10 thrived under Alonso at Leverkusen. I know different league and all that, but you get the point. And we could all see that Palmer desperately needed the time off to recover with ongoing injuries and issues last season. He's had the full summer off. Palmer has Hull home, or Chelsea I should say, have Hull home in Gameweek 4, which is an incredible fixture to be triple up, and you probably also captain Palmer for that, for basically quadruple attack. Haaland does play Man United at Old Trafford in Gameweek 4, and to be fair, he has got a cracking record in the derbies. So what's your opinion on the 15.5 million price tag for Haaland, guys? It's definitely in part due to the lack of other premiums. Salah's gone. Bruno had an incredible season, and 12 million is fair enough, but that's it really beyond that. Like Saka won't play the start of the season. Palmer, admittedly, as I said, a bit of a question mark. Just to mention a few other players that have caught my eye. Robinson from Fulham, that is. Nico Williams, Forest. Krupi, who's reclassified as a midfielder now. Wirtz, Gibbs, White, Sarr, Isak, Brobby and Thiago. On the bench it's Steele, Cash, Coyote and Kuso Azari. The bonus changes this season will benefit attacking midfielders. They're no longer punished for being tackled basically. They used to get -1 BPS every time they were tackled, so they were punished for trying to take players on and not being successful. It feels to me like, initial thoughts are midfield is definitely where to spend the money and again where the most points will come. So I've not opted for any super cheap mids, like 5 or 5.5 mil midfielders. Certainly no 4.5 ones. Cash and Coyote are both 4.5 mil defenders, both fullbacks of course as well. Again, he might benefit from the tweak to bonus points. And Kuzi Asare is just a dead spot, 4.5 mil forward, last on the bench for the 3-5-2 setup. Got no issues with that. As it stands, it looks like we've got no 4 mil keepers this season, but let's see if anything happens over pre-season. We were obviously spoiled last year with Dubravka, who actually did pretty well, like the 2 or 3 times I stuck him in the 11, but yeah, as it stands, I've just got Still, but he might even be third choice. There's pre-season content coming every day to help you with your teams and keep you updated, so make sure you hit subscribe. We just hit 250,000 subscribers as well, so huge thank you for that, and make sure you go install the FPL Focal app. Thanks for watching, and see you soon for the next one.